We are fortunate to be in the company of one of the world's leading experts on dynamic neuroimaging and microstate analysis. Professor Christoph Michel from the University of Geneva is our Chief Neuroscientific Director.
Konnichiwa. Hello, everybody. It's my pleasure to explain to you the quantified meditation system that we are going to present live today in real time here on stage in Tokyo. What we are recording from these three meditators simultaneously is their electrical activity of the brain. We are recording that in every millisecond, as Erkin said, every millisecond from 64 sensors that are placed on the head like antennas. Each line here represents one of these sensors. And the colorful brain image that you see on the right is showing the activity in the brain at each moment in time, in milliseconds. The red and the blue areas are constantly changing as new brain regions become active. At the first glance, if you look at these movies, you think this looks quite random and chaotic, as if the brain is firing all over the place without any pattern. But this first impression is wrong. By analyzing this data more carefully using sophisticated computer technology, we observe something amazing. The brain is actually remaining in a certain brain state for a certain amount of time, just a tenth of a millisecond remaining in one state, hopping or jumping to a new state in which it remains stable again going into a new state, going back to another state, and so on. Only a few dominant brain states exist in a healthy human brain. Think of it like that. Your mind is constantly jumping from one thought to the other, from inner speech to mental imagery, to memory retrieval, to attention, to maybe sensing yourself, and doing that in steps, in separate steps, lasting around 100 milliseconds. When you are at rest, with your eyes closed, relaxed, you are constantly hopping between these different states. As I said, very rapidly, in steps of about 100 milliseconds. Your brain changes from one of these states to the other. You might think about last vacation, you might think about the discussion you had last evening with your children, or you might think of all you have to do tomorrow. However, if you are in a deep meditative state, what we observe is that this jumping stops. You remain in certain states for much longer time. You use much less of these different states. You are getting stable. That's what we call the stability of the mind. Your brain just stays in a few states for much longer periods. So what we observe of a person who is doing meditation, not even only experienced meditators, but also those who start to meditate, what we observe is a decrease of one of these states, which is called the mind-wandering state. You decrease your mental time travel, your traveling of thoughts, you decrease your self-referential memories. Using electrical neuroimaging methods, we can determine which areas in the brain are active during these states, and this mental mind-wandering state activates an area called the hippocampus, which is important for memory storage and retrieval. So this state heavily decreases, your mind-wandering goes away. On the other hand, brain areas in the back of your head that are responsible for the regulation of your attention are heavily increasing. Your mental self-control increases, your present moment awareness increases. Also, what increases are other activities in the back of the brain that are important for self-awareness. You are more aware of yourself, your interoceptive awareness increases, and your awareness of your body and your mind increases. So meditation changes the brain's atoms of thought, as we call them, in real time. This is an example of an expert meditator with many years of experience in meditation during baseline without meditation first, and then during deep meditation. You can immediately see that this mind-wandering state decreases. It covers about 50% of the time during baseline. You mind wander, you travel with your thoughts, and it goes down to nearly zero during meditation. While the other two states, the attention regulation state and the self-awareness, are increasing, covering nearly 30% each of your thoughts, if you want, during meditation. So this made us develop what we call the concentration and mindfulness index, which is one single number that takes into account the decrease of this mind-wandering state and the increase of the awareness and attention state. You see in this example of this expert meditator, this index increases to values up to 500, while during baseline it is about between 0 and 100. Besides changes in brain states that I just explained, meditation also can change your brain waves. A person in a deep, embodied state of meditation might increase its slow waves distributed all over the brain. A meditator practicing open monitoring meditation might increase his alpha waves, while a person doing focal attention meditation practice might decrease his alpha waves. An experienced meditator with high awareness and clarity might increase fast activities called the gamma waves in the brain. So given this observation and given the changes of the states of the atoms of thought that I explained before, we developed the Silent Mind Index, which combines actually the changes of your brain states during meditation and the eventual significant brain wave changes. So our quantified meditation system computes in milliseconds, and that's important. This dynamics in milliseconds generates the concentration and mindfulness index in real time, these changes of brain states. We then calculate the silent mind index that we calculate post-processing by taking into account also changes in brain waves. And finally, we look at what Erkin just mentioned, the QM3 index, because reaching a high index, reaching a high silent mind index is one thing, but remaining in it, staying in it is another thing. So we calculate this index over a period of 3 minutes, which highlights how steadily a practitioner can maintain silence, can maintain stability and awareness over an extended period of time. So this is what you are going to see on the screen in real time, live today. On the top, you see the concentration and mindfulness index, the changes of the brain states. Each line here or each point represents one of these 3 meditators given in different colors. A high index means an increase of the depth of meditation, while a low index means a return rather to mind wandering. So increase will indicate how deep the person at the moment is meditating. On the bottom, you see from time to time the EEG, original EEG, recorded, as I said, every millisecond from 64 channels, just to give you an impression of the signals that come into your system and that we are processing in real time. What you see here now on the bottom is the alpha waves, the changes in alpha activity. You see, for example, one person has very, very low alpha, meaning being practicing a very high level of focal attention meditation, while others might rather practicing at this moment open awareness meditation. And from time to time, you will see the brain areas active during this very moments that we are showing here, with areas activated, as I said, in the back of the brain. On the right side, you see this QM3 index, which will change, updated, giving the value of that they were reaching the last 3 minutes. We will constantly commenting on what you are going to observe. We will give you highlights of what we see and try to explain what you are going to see on the screen during this 20 minutes of meditation. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Christoph. We will be hearing his insight in commentary very soon.